Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about a silent pandemic, one that's threatening to push modern medicine right back into the dark ages. It's the rise of drug-resistant bacteria, a crisis that's unfolding right now in our hospitals and communities, and it's on track to undo a whole century of medical progress. Okay, let's just jump right in with one single, absolutely staggering number: 10 million. Now, this isn't some random figure pulled out of a hat. This is the projected number of people who could die every single year from drug-resistant infections by 2050, if we don't do something about it. I mean, that's more people than currently die from car crashes, diabetes, and diarrheal diseases combined. And to really put that into perspective, this quote from a global health review just hits home. This silent, creeping crisis is on a path to become even deadlier than cancer. We're talking about a future where a simple cut or a totally routine surgery could once again become a life or death situation. So what exactly are we talking about here? Well, the phenomenon is called antimicrobial resistance, or AMR for short. Put simply, it means our miracle drugs, the antibiotics that have been the absolute foundation of modern medicine for decades, are starting to fail. The very bacteria they were designed to wipe out are learning how to fight back and win. So you're probably wondering, how in the world did we get here? How are these microscopic organisms, these superbugs, learning to defeat our most powerful medicines? Well, to understand that, we have to look at their incredible guide to survival. You have to remember, bacteria have been on this planet for billions of years. Billions. That's given them a whole lot of time to develop an amazing toolkit of defenses. You see, every time we use an antibiotic, we're basically challenging them to a fight. And as you're about to see, they've evolved some pretty brilliant ways to fight back. Okay, so this is where it gets really clever. Think of it like they're defending a castle. First up, they can just destroy the weapon itself. They produce enzymes that literally break down the antibiotic before it can do any damage. Second, they can change the lock. They just modify the part of their cell the antibiotic is supposed to attack, so our key doesn't fit anymore. Third, they can just fortify the walls, changing their outer shell to block the drug from ever getting inside. And finally, if an antibiotic does manage to sneak in, they have these things called efflux pumps that just physically throw it right back out. And this is where you see those strategies in action with some of the biggest villains in the superbug world. You've got MRSA, a name you've probably heard, famous for causing hospital infections. It uses that change the lock strategy. Then there's CRKP, which has become an absolute nightmare in ICUs. This one has enzymes that can chew up even our most powerful, last resort antibiotics. And some bugs, like this multi-drug-resistant Pseudomonas, are just terrifying. They use a deadly combination of all these tricks at once. But here's where it gets really, really scary. Bacteria don't just have to figure out these defenses on their own. Nope. They can actually teach each other how to be resistant through something called horizontal gene transfer. And this right here is the key to why this problem is spreading so fast. Yeah, exactly. It's like they're passing around cheat codes in a video game. One bacterium figures out a powerful new defense, and then it can just pass those genetic instructions to its neighbors. And this isn't just within their own species. They can share these codes with totally different types of bacteria. It's how resistance spreads like wildfire through the microbial world. Okay, so let's zoom out from this microscopic battle and talk about the cost. Because this isn't just a health crisis. It is a massive, massive economic one. The price tag for doing nothing is just staggering. Let's just throw a number out there. A huge one. In 2019 alone, the direct hospital cost for treating these resistant infections were estimated to be around $693 billion globally. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The money hospitals around the world spend in 1 year fighting superbugs is more than the entire economic output of a country like Sweden. That enormous cost comes from longer hospital stays, way more complex treatments, and needing drugs that are way, way more expensive. And that's not even the whole picture. On top of those direct hospital costs, we lose another $194 billion in lost productivity. That's from people being too sick to work, or from people dying way too young, robbing the economy of everything they could have contributed. So this chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? You can see these two giant bars for hospital costs and lost productivity. They're huge. But look at that third bar. That, to me, is the most important one. It's the hopeful part of this story. It shows just how much we could save, hundreds of billions of dollars, by developing new tools like vaccines. It's proof that investing in a solution will pay for itself over and over again. So, okay, things look pretty grim. I get it. But the fight is far from over. Faced with the failure of our old drugs, scientists are in an absolute race against time, developing totally new and innovative ways to take on these superbugs. And we are not just talking about trying to find one more antibiotic. No, this is a total paradigm shift. We're talking about things like phage therapy, which basically uses viruses as precision-guided missiles to hunt down and kill specific bacteria. How cool is that? Or monoclonal antibodies that supercharge our own immune system. And we're even using CRISPR gene editing tools to go in and either kill the bacteria directly or just snip out their resistance genes, making our old antibiotics work again. And this slide, right here, this really gets to the heart of the new philosophy. For decades, we used the sledgehammer approach, broad-spectrum antibiotics that killed everything, good and bad bacteria alike, which created this immense pressure for resistance to evolve. These new approaches, they're like precision scalpels, highly targeted, aiming to disarm the bad guys or boost our own defenses, all with as little collateral damage as possible. And this brings us right back full circle to the money. Investing in this kind of innovation, it pays off, big time. This chart shows that new vaccines for just a few of the most common superbugs could save almost $300 billion in costs every single year. The conclusion is so simple. Scientific innovation isn't just a health imperative, it is one of the smartest economic investments we could possibly make. So, what's the bottom line here? The big takeaway is that antimicrobial resistance isn't some far-off futuristic problem. It's here, it's now, and it is genuinely one of the greatest global challenges of our lifetime. It forces us to confront a future we thought we'd left behind, and it makes us ask a really crucial and honestly kind of scary question. As our most essential medicines lose their power, are we really ready for what comes next?